And I first thank Graham Lynch and COMMSDAY for inviting me to speak to you again, and congratulate COMMSDAY on the remarkable role it plays promoting debate and informed debate throughout the telecommunications and IT sector. I think it's important for me to remind you and anyone else listening to this where the coalition stands on the matter of the NBN, because there is this, to say that the debate has become confused is an understatement. We are utterly committed, totally committed, to ensuring that all Australians have access to fast broadband. We believe that is important. We believe that where the market is unable to deliver that because of typically distance, there should be a subsidy. And indeed, you'll recall that when we were in government in 2007, we put together a project called the OPEL project, which would have delivered broadband to regional and remote Australia, and with a mixture of technologies, fixed wireless and satellite, essentially the same as the NBN is going to provide for those geographies, and that project had a clear, transparent Commonwealth Government subsidy. It is one of the many ironies of this debate that had the Howard government been elected in 2007, though the people in those areas would have been enjoying broadband through those technologies with the benefit of that government support for, in many cases, around 2 years already. They would have had it for over 2 years by now. So in terms of the bush, you cannot really, you can argue that the NBN offers great things to the bush, but I can counter by saying that those benefits would have been in place long beforehand if the government, the Labor government, had continued with the OPEL scheme. So if the objective is to deliver fast broadband to all Australians, then the question is, what is the most cost-effective way of delivering it? And that is really the big issue between us and the government, and I think between many of you and the government. It's the point that Paul Broad has made in his criticisms of the NBN, and as have many others. The fundamental question then is, do you need to entirely overbuild your existing telecommunications network, your existing customer access network, with a new fibre to the home system or network in order to deliver fast broadband? Now, the answer, as all of you know, is absolutely not. This is one of the great untruths that is being promoted as part of the defence of the NBN. Robert Kenny will give you more detail about this later today, and he and his brother Charles have done great work in that area, exposing these untruths. But it is interesting that when the government or the proponents of the NBN speak about its virtues, they are talking about the virtue or the benefit of having broadband as opposed to having no broadband. Yet, why do we need to run fibre into every home to give Australian households the benefit of fixed line fast broadband? We talk about Korea, or the government talks about Korea, extolling the virtues of broadband in Korea. Now, I was recently there and met with a whole range of people in the industry, people in government, the regulator and so forth. And there are a number of points that were very apparent. Firstly, fibre to the home, in the sense of into the residence, is very rare. The overwhelming majority of residences are not wired with fibre. In fact, I visited a new city at Incheon, at the port of Seoul, an extraordinary, gigantic new development, looks like the set of a science fiction movie. It's so modern and futuristic. And in the residential apartment buildings there, the premises are wired with Ethernet. And of course, there's fibre running to the basement, So it is, in effect, a form of fibre to the node, and that is the norm throughout Korea. So they are able to enjoy very high speeds using that type of design and have chosen not to run fibre into every residence for reasons of cost. And yet this is the society, the economy that was held up to us as the model for the NBN.